Hey there, so today we are talking about stepping out of overwhelm. I've been joined by the lovely Joanna Glassock, and we're going to give some tips about what's happening when you're feeling overwhelmed, how that comes about, and some tips on how you can step out of overwhelm. So, Joanna, tell us a little bit more about yourself, first of all.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Matt, for inviting me along today. So I, as you say, I'm Joanna Glassock, and I'm a life management coach. And I've worked within the fields of behaviour change and motivation and well-being for nearly 20 years now, working predominantly across the fields of education and health. And I've worked in a number of roles during that time. So I worked as like a psychology lecturer, worked as a senior assistant psychologist working with young people. So working in schools and colleges, and worked with university along with young people who were not in any formal education. And it was very much about identifying what was keeping them stuck. So what was preventing them from achieving their full potential, really. And it was about them being able to develop a package of support to enable them to move forwards. And part of that was to actually identify what their strengths are, because a lot of time we focus on what we're not so good at. And actually nobody's great at everything, but everybody's great at something. So it's about identifying, what their strengths are, what they're passionate about, what's going to give them fulfillment in their lives, and use that as a stepping stone and a foundation to then help them move forwards. And yeah, so as I say, I've had a number of roles, and I now went on to set up my own business as Joanna Glassock Coaching, and as I say, I work as a life management coach now, and I work within the area of stress and overwhelm, and so I'm here today. And I work with people who are experiencing stress and overwhelm, and it can be for a whole range of reasons, but more often than not, it's from trying to juggle all of life's responsibilities, so trying to balance their career or their businesses with their personal life and family, that can often leave them feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And I work with them to help them identify what is creating those feelings of stress and overwhelm, and to help them develop the tools and strategies to build a new outlook on life, so that they're able to better manage life stresses. Because unfortunately, we do have stress in our lives from time to time. I think the last
we do, yeah, definitely, yeah. And obviously, we all got tested last year with that. I'd say predominantly everyone, and I know, there's a lot of sad stories, of course there are, and then some. I know people have prospered, but I guess that would have brought some kind of stress away, because I can be stressed, but things can be good, and I can be stressed and things can't be good as well. And sometimes they're both combined together.
Yeah.
I mean, did you find I talk to a lot of different coaches, and I do find that what they're coaching is something they're very passionate about it, and it's something they've been through themselves. So is it something you kind of experience yourself, thought, right, I got some tools here I can share, and I've got some skills? Is that?
Definitely. So, despite having, my background, my experiences, my, expertise, that I still found myself living in this constant state of stress and overwhelm from trying to juggle all of life's responsibilities. And I was living my life the way that I thought I should be, so as society says. So, I had a good job, I worked hard in my job, tried to do it to the best of my abilities. I would, I was like sort of pushed through to get things done. I'd make sure things happened. And, even if that meant getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning or working into the evening, I'd get things done. And I saw myself as the strong one. So being there for everybody, making sure everybody was okay, be there to support them. So despite doing everything the way I thought I should be doing and what society says, I just felt myself living in this constant state of stress and overwhelm. And I continued to live like that for such a long time, until I got to a point and I thought, I can't continue like this. There must be more to this. And I knew I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. And I suppose it was then magnified when I had my little girl, because I felt guilty that I couldn't be there for her all the time, because I was putting so much time and energy into house and juggling everything, my career, and even when I was with her, that I felt like I couldn't be fully present with it, because my head would just be constantly on the go, thinking about what I need to do next or worrying about things.
I'm sorry to put in there, because I totally felt the same with my children, my boys, and I imagine a lot of parents do.
Yeah.
And it troubled me a lot, to be quite honest. And then you do feel guilty about it. And then at the same time, you're working, trying to, for me, I think I was just coming into the business, as start this as a business, so that, and you want to provide that better life. Yeah. And then you think, well, I'm doing it for the right reasons, but and then, oh my gosh, sorry. Totally resonated with that.
Yeah. And I think that's so, that's the case for so many people, that we're doing everything with the best intentions. We want to be able to provide, we want to be there for our families, for our loved ones, and it's such a juggling act, and by trying to do it all leaves us, as I say, living in this state of stress and overwhelm. And as I say, I got to a point and I thought, something needs to change here, and I need to do something differently, but didn't know what, because I was doing what I thought I should be doing. And the irony is, because of my background, when I could, apply the theory to so many people and support them, but I think I found it hard to recognize it myself, or maybe even give myself permission and time to start, taking care of myself or looking inwards, because of, was so busy trying to support everyone else. And someone recommended a coach to me, and actually, by working with my coach, that's when things really changed for me, because it meant that she helped me to start looking inwards and what was happening internally that was creating my feelings of stress and overwhelm. Because I think so often people think it's these external events. So, our jobs, our businesses, running the home, all these kind of things, trying to juggle everything. But it isn't the external events that directly influence our feelings of stress and overwhelm. It's actually what's happening internally and how we perceive these events that then create the stress and overwhelm. And so I suppose what I'm talking about there is our thoughts and our beliefs. Yeah. So what we believe about ourselves and the world around us will create our reality. And I suppose how that works is that what we think and what we believe will then influence how we feel, and how we feel will then impact on how we behave, and how we behave will then reinforce our thoughts and beliefs. And then we have this cycle, this pattern that just continues to go round and round, that we play out over and over again, which then further reinforces those beliefs and thoughts. So we have this cycle, this pattern that we play out, and it can be really hard to try and break that. So in order to do that, we really need to understand what the beliefs are that are creating those feelings of stress and overwhelm. So then we can change those beliefs to then change how we feel, and therefore how we behave. And obviously that's very much the work that I do with my clients now. And and I'll use a whole range of techniques around that.
No, brilliant. And so you spoke at the Gloucester Business Professional Network a few weeks back, and I was really impressed. I really enjoyed that as well. And you did a bit of EFT with us, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what is EFT for anyone that hasn't heard of it before, first of all?
Yeah. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. So this is one of the many tools that I will use with my clients and use for myself as well. And this is about our energy. So again, feeling stressed and overwhelmed can leave us feeling really tired and fatigued and exhausted. And part of that is that we hold on to negative energy. And we can hold on to that in our bodies. So most commonly, and where I tend to hold it, is across my shoulders, up into my neck as tension. People get tension headaches or hold it in their jaws. And EFT is a great tool to help us to release this negative energy. And we hold on to negative energy, it can be for a whole range of reasons. But more often than not, it's due to a negative experience we've been through that we haven't let go of. So it could be a painful memory. It could be, as I say, a negative experience that has left us feeling a certain way, maybe some guilt or shame around it, or that we're holding on to that we haven't fully let go of. So EFT, as I say, is a great tool to help us with this. And EFT, as I say, is emotional freedom technique, or it's also known as tapping. And it is a holistic healing tool that has demonstrated it can help resolve a whole range of issues. So it could be around fears, limiting beliefs, low confidence, even anxiety. And how it works is that it's based on the combined principles of ancient Chinese acupuncture and modern psychology. So people might be familiar with acupuncture, so they know that the acupuncture practitioner will place needles around pressure points in the body to release this trapped negative energy. And EFT works on the same principle, but instead of using needles, you actually tap on the different meridian points around the body. And by doing that and focusing on the negative emotions, it helps to firstly calm our nervous system, and it helps to rewire our brain to more sort of healthier ways of thinking, as well as releasing and trapped negative energy, so that our energy system that's around our body is can flow more naturally, and yeah, is sort of rebalanced again.
No, I like that. So I guess it's listening to your body a little bit, isn't it? Your body does give out a lot of warning signs. So I think about 6 years ago, I think I'd just come to Cheltenham, or I've been in Cheltenham, maybe living around about 6 months or so. It was not the best time of my life. Just about turned 40, and it should have been life begins. It was just horrible for whatever reasons. Is just how things. And I thought I might have said this at the thing, but I thought I bit my tongue. I'd gone to an event over in America on the plane, and I remember biting it on the plane, but it was like it already happened anyway. So, oh, damn it. I remember asleep, bit down. It's almost like my tongue got a bit wider. So, but I already, prior to that, I had like teeth indent marks in my tongue. So I think I came back and went to dentist, said that this happened, but I've had, it's like, it looks like I bit of my tongue before then, but I don't know when. And it felt like whatever had happened had made it more likely that I was going to bite my tongue again. It was really hard to explain. And it was literally teeth prints on my tongue. So the dentist had a look. He said, like, close your mouth and having a look in and do it this way, do it that way. And I'll push your tongue to the top of the teeth. And then he just come back and said, are you quite stressed at the moment? I said, yeah, just not a good time, really. He said, yeah, I can see what's happening. When you're stressed, you're pushing your tongue up into your teeth. Wow. So I know, and I probably had other tensions, but that's always stuck with me. And every now and then I might notice something, right, something's not quite right. And that's why I say I think the you know, I might get tension more, same bit on the shoulders and around the back of my neck, and so I guess around even on my back. And we don't always realize it when it was happening, do we? Yeah. So and I think there was a whole heap of emotions that it was just going on at a time. It wasn't just what was happening there. It was. I think there was a lot from things I hadn't dealt with way back, really, that just needed to make its way out somehow. So yeah. So the body does it things around us give clues, I think, to what's going on. So yeah. But so when we did the tapping with you, I know you did quite a generic one. It was like how we were feeling that day, and I was actually having a good day, so I felt quite cool. So I think it got us to score ourselves, and so I think I had a good score. But even then, I did feel like something's just been released a little bit. So even though I was feeling good, and I know it's quite a hard one to do, but yeah, really good. And I've never done tapping before. I've heard about it, and I know people have done it, and yes, I feel so much better. And I think, and I did feel the way you got us to do it, it just felt so warm, so welcoming, and just very, very, very at ease to do that. And bear in mind, I don't know how it was, but it was all tapping on Zoom and repeating that, and it was really good. So I highly recommend. And on a separate note, hopefully we're gonna have Joanna doing some stuff for them. Like a lot of our clients and all the other things, but that's a separate video. So have you got anything? So obviously you just started a new business. We talked a lot off camera, and then you say, like, I've got all these ideas and I have to rein in. So like what you've learned, you must have to do quite a lot anyway for yourself. Is it like a constant thing for you? And
definitely, I think you know, as we said earlier, that life comes with stresses.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life will not be plain sailing. There will be ups and downs, but it's about learning different tools and strategies and that awareness. So like you were just saying about, our body, what's happening will give us warning signs, but we don't often pay attention to it or realize that's what's happening. So once we find ourselves, starting to feel stressed and overwhelmed, there are things that we can do quite quickly that can help with that. So ideally, we want to get to a point where we're in a better position to be able to manage the stress and overwhelm that we experience. And the work that I do with my clients is about not only identifying what the triggers are to stress and overwhelm, but to do a lot of work around those beliefs to transform that so that they feel a lot more resilient and have greater confidence to be able to deal with life stresses. But as part of that is to also be able to help them create balance in their lives. So instead of trying to do it all and juggle everything, it's about, well, actually you can have a career, a business and be successful, but you can also feel calm and confident and fulfilled in every aspect of your life. So it isn't just looking at, people's careers, it can be around their family and relationships and even their health. So it's looking at every aspect. And as I say, EFT is one of many tools that people can use, but there's a whole range of things depending on what it is that they want. And part of the work that we do is also looking at developing like an inspired action plan. So it's about getting clear on what it is that you want in your life, because again, so often people focus on what they don't want, and then the cycle we talked about earlier, that we end up continuing doing the same things over and over again that leads to the same outcome, which is the stress and overwhelm. So it's helping them get clear on, well, actually, what is it I do want rather than what I don't want, so that they've then got a direction of what they want to work towards. And then, as I say, the inspired action plan is about, well, what steps do I need to take to help me get there? And it's not just about taking any old steps, because again, we can do anything and everything, thinking this is what I want to do, and then again feel stressed, overwhelmed and burnt out. So it's about taking steps that feel good to you, that's aligned with what it is that you want to achieve, but something, that feels good and isn't there is that resistant to it. So there's this whole range of things that people can do.
Brilliant. And what's like, who's this for? What type of, obviously you can't say your clients are about their things, but what type of clients, are you looking for at the moment, or what the type of people coming to you, basically? That makes sense.
Definitely. So there's a range really. So I work with adults who are experiencing stress and overwhelm, and it can be for a whole range of reasons, but more often than not, as I say, it's about that juggling act of juggling all of life responsibilities. And as I say, it's about helping them to identify what that is and to, build the sort of build a more robust outlook on life so that they're able to manage life stresses better. And I also do some work with organisations around staff wellbeing, and again about how to create balance in life, because again I think people look at well, it's work and life balance, and then sometimes see workers, well, this is the thing I have to do, and then I can have the time to do the stuff I want to do. Well, actually it's about the whole thing. It's about feeling good and happy and fulfilled in every aspect of our lives. And so again, it's very much about building on the sort of passions and strengths and that kind of thing. And then also I do some work with schools and colleges, working with young people as well. So again, about helping them identify what's creating barriers for them and to help them move forward to reach their full potential, and again have that success and fulfillment in their lives.
Do you know what I think the most important place is with the children, because it gets adult life. You could, it's never too late for anything, is it? It's never too late to work out something or start something. And you're starting your new business. I'm starting new ventures. It's never ever too late for anything. But I think if we can get to our children with a lot of things, really, everything that you just said, well-being, relationship advice, and career structure and all this. I think that's. I'm not knocking maths or in English, but I feel that's more important. Just my opinion anyway. But,
and I think you're right, but I think also it's about supporting children, young people, but also by taking the time to to work on yourself and to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Actually, we're role modeling that for our children. So
Yeah.
we're actually, rather than saying this is what you should do,
Yes.
you're actually demonstrating
Definitely.
it as well. So I think, I think it benefits everybody.
No, definitely. And I've said this before, we pick up so much from people around us.
Yeah.
And sometimes that person around you may only be there for like a 5 minutes, because you can be in a cafe or a restaurant, and sometimes you just can't overhear what's going on. But it has an impact on us, I feel. If it's positive, it has an impact. So, that's quite interesting. Or if it's negative, I think that, you know, we're like self-defense is always about, I know we're at martial arts center at the moment, but we're defending against ourselves the whole time, and everything that's going on around. So you're taking one-to-one clients at the moment. Have you got anything in particular special that's, you know, you're working on or that's coming up that you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, well, I'm really excited that I just launched my Facebook group. So I was really keen that, obviously, I'm working with people on a one-to-one basis, but I want to be able to reach as many people as possible, just to help them to be able to, you know, develop tools and strategies and techniques to be able to better manage life stresses and to just feel more happy and content and fulfilled in life. So I thought one way of doing this is to have a Facebook group that is completely free, where, you know, people can join, where I'll be sharing tips and information and doing some live training and talks. So if anybody is interested in joining, then please feel free. It's called Transform Stress to Create Balance and Success.
I love it. So we will have to get that and put that in the copy, definitely, the full link. And I gotta say, so I know you work with one-to-one, and that's going to be very niche, very specific to that individual. In that one session that we did with Joanna, it felt, even though there was a few of us, it really felt like you were talking to me. So, and I think that's not easy to do. I know that from teaching. You've got this gift where you can. That's why I think the group is going to be so great, because you'll be able to, like, people. You can have thousands in there, and they're all going to feel like, oh my God, she's talking to me. This is perfect. So, yeah, get yourself in the group. I think that's it's free. So, you know, it's going to be. I know you're going to be putting some great tips in there. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming back and chat again. And nice to have you back on the show. And I think we've got to push Joanna to do some videos of her own and the podcast. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions or anything else you wanted to share very quickly, or
not that I can think of.
No,
I think
that's good.
But
that's good.
Thank you so much for inviting me along. It's been an absolute pleasure, and and I look forward to seeing people in the Facebook group if they're interested.
Click the link. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. And of course, if you've got any questions, feel free, and people can message you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm on Facebook. You can message me direct or on Instagram. So Joanna Glassock Coaching.
Happy days. Yay. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.